Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. I got to tell you, number one, why I ran for mayor of the city of Las Vegas. I ran for mayor 12 years ago, and it was because when Casino came out, my mother called me. She said, I just saw your movie, and it's a good thing you're a lawyer. I wasn't getting any other parts, and I figured that the only way I'd be able to continue my movie career would be if I could control the permitting process. So I figured the mayor was able to do that, and went down to City Hall after I was sworn in, and I said to the woman who was in charge of permits, I said, I'm your new mayor. She said, what can I do for you, sir? I said, well, I want to condition proceedings that before you give a permit, the director and producer have to agree to give me a part. She said, you can't do that. I said, I can. I'm the mayor. Well, 2 weeks go by. Receptionist calls me, says, Mayor, guess who's out here? I said, who's there? She says, Jackie Chan. I said, send the gentleman right in. So Jackie Chan comes in with his director, Brett Ratner, and they say, we can't believe what we just heard. They're saying that we can't make Rush Hour 2 without you having a part? I said, that's absolutely correct. It was a great part. It was at the Desert Inn before it was imploded, and it was a scene with Chris Tucker, Jackie Chan, Alan King, and myself. And I was so proud of it. My movie career had regenerated itself. I was really a happy guy, and the movie comes out, cutting room floor. Well, I was hotter than fish grease. I got on the phone, and I called the stinking Jackie Chan, and I said, Chan, there's no way in the world you're ever going to make Rush Hour 3 in Las Vegas as long as I'm the mayor. Don't even bother coming back here. I scared him so much I am in the DVD. Next one was Ocean's 11, like the sequel, Ocean's 12, whatever. Unbelievable scene at the MGM. I'm with Siegfried and Roy, Danny Gans, Wayne Newton. Great scene, cutting room floor. So I went to our city attorney, and I said, Brad, you know, this is outrageous. A fraud is being perpetrated on the city of Las Vegas. We're giving these permits, and they say I'm going to be in the movie, and I end up on the cutting room floor. He said, what can I do for you, Mayor? I said, I want a binding contract that if they do that again, we'll be able to enjoy the movie. He said, you can't do that. I said, I can. I'm the mayor. Well, the next movie, we signed the contract. It was called Angel Blade. They told me it was going to be an exotic thriller. It turns out it's an erotic thriller. And I am in that movie. I love being the mayor of Las Vegas. I have such a good time as the mayor of Las Vegas. I said, where's Fred? I don't see. There's Fred over there. I can't wait for Zappos to come down to our city. I am the only mayor in the world who really sold City Hall. We sold City Hall to Zappos, and 8.5 acres right across the street where their corporate campus is going to be. And it's so exciting to have participated in the development of a community where Richard Florida, the great professor and sociologist, actually came and he spoke to us, and he's helping us service the needs of the creative class. And when I heard that I was being asked here today, I said, this is the creative class. You are the ones that he was talking about. You are the ones who will change society. You're the ones who will enjoy an urban environment. And we've directed all of our efforts to accomplish that. We have a beautiful Frank Gehry designed Brain Institute with the Cleveland Clinic coming in, and we're expanding their presence in the downtown. We have 3 parcels set aside so they'll be able to have enough going here that we'll be able to engage in medical tourism, which is a wonderful way to diversify our economy. We have a new performing arts center that is going up. It'll be ready next February, and we're making it very affordable, so all the locals will be able to afford a season ticket there. It's not going to be anything that's going to knock somebody's block out, and that's very exciting. And then I'm sure Fred talked about our East Fremont Street. If you haven't been down there and you're in town, you're the kind of folks who would really enjoy it. If you go down tonight, you'll be able to visit one of 11 venues or go venue hopping. All of these places were given a pass as far as a liquor license fee was concerned. We allowed them to have liquor there as long as they had an entertainment component associated with their venue. And over at our arts district, we have 2 new taverns that are just delightful with artwork in it and just lively, young, creative people. And it's so great being down there. And also, if you get down there tonight, you'll see Las Vegas. If you're not really familiar with us, we're tailored 2 cities here. We've got the wonderful entertainment. We're the tourism capital of the world, the great food, the great shopping, all that. But we're also a community of 2 million people who really are thirsting to advance and to become a world-class city. And it would be fun to have you in the downtown this evening. You'll be able to see a local event. It's called Hell Dorado. I reinstituted. It was a very important event here in the old days, a cowboy-type parade and a rodeo and the like. And when we had our centennial, our 100th birthday in 2005, we were basically born in 1905. We're a very young city. In 2005, one of the things I wanted to do was to reconvene our rodeo and have our parade. And tonight we're having the parade down there. You have a great time, and the rodeo starts at 9 o'clock. If you've never been to a rodeo, it's a real rodeo, and a lot of fun, very, very reasonable, a lot of concessions, and it's a great way to spend an evening in Las Vegas. So I've been a happy camper. I'm term limited, can't run again. I've done 12 years, 3 4-year terms, but I'm not the dumbest guy who ever came down the pike. The four runner in the race is my wife. So I want to make sure that Zappos is happy for the next 4 years in downtown. I'm not taking my chances with some maniac out there or something like that. So I'm very happy to be here, and I'd love to answer any questions you might have, either about the city or anything that might be of interest to you. Come on, I told you how smart you are. Let's see. We've got a mic there. Don't just hold hands. Boy, what is this?
Well, really, actually, I just want to thank you for taking a community approach to Las Vegas. It's actually really exciting to get to watch this unfold. I have lots of friends here, and I'm really grateful for them that own property and are a part of their livelihood here. My question would be, what is it that really tipped that point to where you started thinking this way? Was it people, things, collaborations?
That's a good question. Sometimes we go so fast here, particularly the first 9 years I was the mayor. Last 3 have been a little tough because of the economy, but I come from a background very narrow, very channeled, representing people who were characterized as being mobsters and mafia and that kind of thing. So I didn't know anything about how to develop a city, but I did know when I traveled around the country representing these clients of mine, I would go into center cities. I would go into Newark, and it looked like a war zone, and I would go into San Diego before they had the gas lamp district, and it looked like a war zone. And when I was elected, I had no idea. It was a lark, really, why I ran. I thought, I knew I was going to win because I'd never lose, but I just didn't know why I wanted the job. I had done everything other than to be in movies. And it's funny, same pair of eyeglasses, and I'm sure you envision the same thing, depending on your surroundings. Same pair of eyeglasses. I thought everything was rosy until I was elected the mayor, and then I saw, and I didn't even know what these words meant. I saw the first signs of blight. I saw that first boarded up window. I saw the lawyers were moving out to the suburbs. The banks were moving out to the suburbs. There was a malaise. There was a lethargy in the downtown. There was no energy. And I said to myself, this is something I can do. I'll be able to make a renaissance take place in downtown Las Vegas. And it's interesting because when I gave my State of the City address in January, I said it's taken me 12 years to become an overnight success. And that's basically what happened, because it's incremental. And you really can't enjoy your successes until you get the overview. And the first thing we did, we acquired a piece of land, an old railroad site, a brownfield, and I began to talk about it as the jewel of the desert. And because I come from a different background than most mayors, people listen to me. I mean, where do you get a mob lawyer talking about a jewel of the desert? And they began to write stories about it. Front page, Sunday edition, New York Times, mob lawyer turned mayor talks about jewel of the desert. And then another, the LA Times copied the story in the tradition of the media. And then the US News and World Report, they had a cover story. And before I knew it, we were getting phone calls. And we entered into what's called tax increment financing, where we became partnerships between the public sector and the private sector. And we got ourselves, and they laughed at me when I said it was coming, a downtown outdoor shopping mall. They said, that's supposed to be out in the suburbs, not downtown. Most successful dollar per square foot outdoor mall in the country. It's called the Premium Outlets. Thousands of people going through there a day, and really phenomenal little stores. And then the World Market Center, which is a furniture showroom concept. They'll have 12 million square feet by the time they're through. They have, the first building is 800,000, the second 1.3 million, the third 2 million. So real critical mass, an office building, which is LEED certified gold with a lot of public art, which I passed an ordinance, which said that 1% of all public projects has to go for public art. And we're taking that money and we're using it for art in the downtown area there, which is very exciting. And then, of course, the community caught on. And the young people like yourselves, they opened up these little businesses. they're organically, and they just sprung up. And there's an energy there. And when we found out that Zappos was coming downtown, that was the tipping point, because now we're legitimate. It's not just a precatory wish on the mayor's part and him saying he wants things to happen. They're now happening, and they'll be able to reach out, and they'll be able to have folks like you come from all over and look at Las Vegas. We have a great tax structure here. There's no corporate tax. There's no income tax. It's a great place to die. There's no estate tax. So there are a lot of reasons for people to be here. This is the ideal time to move here because we have the foreclosures, and I'm a guy who likes lemonade. I don't like lemons. And people could get phenomenal buys. If you have friends who live here, you know they could buy a beautiful home with a swimming pool, with hardwood floors, with wood-burning fireplaces, with nice backyards for $150,000 now that 2-3 years ago were going for $450,000, $500,000. And the market is settling, and the prices are going to come back. So this is a wonderful time for businesses to come here and for people to move here. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Hey, wait a minute. I got the mic.
Oh, you have the mic. Okay, I thought it was a ventriculist. Yes.
So you've obviously dealt with a lot of transformation and change, boom, economic challenge, real estate challenge. What have you learned? What have the most important lessons been about managing growth, multiple interests, and managing change?
Well, I think the lesson that was the hardest for me to learn, which was the most important that I learned, that goes towards that. As a trial lawyer, I did everything myself. I did my own research. I interviewed my witnesses. I went into court with my client. I mean, it looked like a David and Goliath show when we go into court with a client, and the other side, 50 FBI guys, 50 drug agents, ATF, and I never delegated, and I never partnered. And I saw in government can't do anything by itself. And it took me a while to realize that, about a year and a half, really, that I had to partner with the private sector. And as long as I partnered with the private sector, things like growth were protected because they took their private philosophies, their capitalistic philosophies and the like, into the equation. And that kept me on a very steady course. So I think the biggest lesson that a politician should have is to learn how to work with the private people that he represents.
All right, so I was born and raised here in Las Vegas, and I go to the university here. I'm a third year, and I wanted to know what exactly is your vision for Las Vegas? I mean, because have you ever heard of that saying about University of Nevada, Las Vegas? They call it the University of Never Leaving Vegas.
I'm having a hard time understanding. I'm sorry.
Well, have you ever heard of that? They call it University of Nevada, Las Vegas, the University of Never Leaving Vegas.
University of. Oh, okay. I had not heard that. What happened to your stage?
So that's the attitude.
Okay. All right.
Towards some of my peers, and I wanted to know what is your vision for Las Vegas? I mean, what can we look forward to?
Look, I've got. I put my money where my mouth is, and I've got 4 children, who my wife had a very interesting rule, and people should consider this because they work with ours. When they went away, each one, when they went away to college, said, "We're never coming back to Vegas." She said, "Okay." And she said, "But if you ever decide to come back, don't come back until you do something for 3 years after you get your last degree, because I don't want to see you." So each one of them, the first one went to medical school, was an MD, PhD, and he was a New York Presbyterian, and a great career, and he was recruited by our Cancer Institute out here, so he came out here after doing his time back there. And he has a home, and it's underwater. My middle boy, he's a lawyer, and he went into the Marine Corps, and then when he got out of the Marine Corps, he came here, and he has a home that's underwater. And then I have a third boy who went to the University of Pennsylvania Law School after college, and he's now a judge. He came back here, and my daughter went to Stanford and got her degrees up there, and she worked for Deloitte, and then she came here, and they're all underwater with their homes. They said, "Dad, what should I do?" And I said, "Vegas has the greatest future in the world. Nobody in Las Vegas has a lawyer. Nobody in Las Vegas has a doctor. Nobody in Las Vegas has anything. The same opportunities exist here as they did when I got here in 1964. Nobody had a doctor. Nobody had a lawyer. And I said, you just have to suck it up, and you make your home payments if you like your home, and don't worry about that because the property values are going to come back. It may take a little bit of time. Just enjoy life, do well professionally, and I think it's a great place for young people to live. I think it's the kind of place that, coming from the East Coast, coming from Philadelphia, I'll give you a little example. I was working for Arlen Specter, who was an assistant district attorney in Philadelphia at the time. When I was going to law school, I was clerking for him. And a wealthy widow was killed in Philadelphia, and the fellows who killed her took $300,000 from under her mattress and brought it out to Las Vegas to launder at the crap tables. And they were subsequently arrested here and brought back to Philadelphia for trial, and Arlen said, work up the testimony of the arresting officers. So I met with them, and it was a cold, dreary, rotten February night in Philadelphia, and the wind was just going right through the old stone city hall there, and it was miserable. And after 3 hours, they said, what are you doing here? And I said, where else is there? Philadelphians were very provincial in those days. They said, the land of milk and honey. So I went home that night and woke my wife up. I said, sweetheart, how would you like to go to the land of milk and honey? She says, I'm not going to Israel. I said, no, Las Vegas. So I came out here on a Saturday, and I knocked on, in those days, all the lawyers had offices down around Fremont Street in little storefronts, and I would knock on a Saturday morning on their doors, and everybody was down there, while everyone was working, and I said, what would you tell me? Should I stay in Philadelphia and be on Arlen Specter's coattails and probably end up a federal judge at 28 years of age, or should I come out to Las Vegas and make a life for myself and stand on my own? They said, not even close. Come out to Las Vegas. The world's your oyster. So I got to say that when you graduate, you stay here, you do well here, you can't do better any place else than Las Vegas. Yes. Uh-oh.
I'm over here. I've got the mic.
Yes.
I learned the power of the mic. So, Mayor, the iconic saying of Las Vegas is what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. That's what everyone says about it. But so that we can cooperate with you in creating your vision of how Las Vegas can be thought of, what would be the new iconic saying? What would we all go out and say about Las Vegas to create it the way that you're creating it with your vision?
That's a very good question. I'm not that good at sayings. Oh, you should talk about it as a land of opportunity, a city of opportunity, a city where you can accomplish your dreams. And I've never been able to figure out in all the years I've lived here whether Las Vegas is the most real place in the world or the most unreal place in the world. But I do know this. I do know that if you have a dream and a vision, you're able to accomplish it here. And I don't think you could say that any place else, because every place else has like a caste system where you have to get through all the social things, big shots who've lived there forever, that kind of stuff. Here, if you have an idea, you can make it work. You could turn on the switch and the bulb is going to shine. And these other places, it's just too hard to accomplish things. Las Vegas is a wonderful place to be creative. I think the only thing that stops anything from growth is the failure to have new ideas. And in Las Vegas, we always reinvent ourselves. We force ourselves into thinking about the future and new ideas. So it's a great place for young, smart people to be. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'm computer illiterate, which is, I was a little afraid of being here today, but you've been very kind to me, and I appreciate it. And Fred, thanks for protecting me. I appreciate it. See you later. Thank you.